This is Booked for Drama, where stories burn, hearts break, the tea is always hot and never a part 2. Today we're diving into Broken by Unknown Author. Let's go. Chapter 1. Sebastian Gresham had a childhood friend, Lydia Hunt, who was obsessed with menswear. On our anniversary, he asked me to get out of the master bedroom so she could share our. Lydia doesn't understand the complexities of women, she's just a good bro I grew up with. Don't get any ideas. When Lydia Hunt used a race car to run me off the road, causing me to lose my baby, my daughter sat in the passenger seat and watched coldly. Mom, she already slowed down. Stop faking it. So when Sebastian Gresham proposed a sham divorce for Lydia Hunt's Saga, I agreed in a heartbeat. Later, I brought my new family home. Facing Sebastian Gresham's interrogation and my daughter's wailing, I said coolly. Micah Yip is just a colleague, we only shared a bed because it was freezing. How dare you be so crude, crying over something so trivial? Can you please stop playing the victim? 1 month. After Lydia Hunt deals with her family's pressure to marry her off, we'll get a divorce, then we'll remarry. It's a sham divorce, I swear. With Lydia's personality, if anything was going to happen between us, it would have happened ages ago. Sebastian Gresham started to explain, but I cut him off. Even though it's a sham divorce, to make it convincing, the agreement is ready. Felicity, Gresham is yours, the child in my womb is mine, and I want nothing else. I'm going to the racetrack to pick up Felicity, and I'll be moving out after dinner. Sebastian Gresham was silent on the other end of the phone for a moment. Only after I finished replying to Micah Yip's message did I hear him laugh. Why so serious, wife? We have plenty of rooms in the house. You're pregnant, why move? Around? Stay here. The nanny can take care of you. Home? That saccharine word made my heart clench. Lydia Hunt comes and goes as she pleases, her clothes filling the master bedroom. And he still calls it my home? The roar of racing cars came from afar. I looked up and saw the small figure in the passenger seat, and my breath caught in my throat. Felicity Gresham, didn't you promise you'd just watch? Do you know how dangerous that is? Felicity was in the passenger seat, without a car seat. She's so small she can't even buckle her seatbelt. She frowned, annoyed. Mom, don't overreact. Lydia said she's been doing this since she was a kid. What are you even doing here? Weren't you supposed to leave us alone when I'm with her? Lydia floored it. Sister-in-law, you're such a delicate little princess, already crying? So good at faking it, no wonder Sebastian Gresham likes you. Before she even finished speaking, the race car shot off like a bullet. I stood outside the guardrail, staring at the speeding blur, trembling. Sebastian Gresham's completely unbothered voice drifted through the still open phone line. Lydia and I have been doing this since we were kids, don't overreact. She knows her limits, nothing's going to happen. Before he could finish, a car careened out of control in the distance, crashed through the railing, and headed straight for me. Excruciating pain ripped through my abdomen, blood pooling beneath me. I couldn't even scream before I blacked out in despair. Chapter 2. Mrs. Gresham lost the baby. Ms. Hunt only suffered minor injuries and is already awake. I woke up and instinctively looked down at my stomach. It was flat, just a throbbing ache remained. You're both okay, thank God. Honey, you're awake, where does it hurt? Sebastian Gresham looked utterly relieved. What about the baby? I was shaking all over. Sebastian Gresham avoided my gaze. Freya, we have plenty of time to have more kids. Accidents happen, try to be reasonable. I took a deep breath, grabbed my phone, ignored the barrage of messages, and dialed 3 numbers. What are you doing? Sebastian Gresham snatched the phone, scowling. I'm calling the police. This is murder. She killed my baby. No, you can't call the police. If this gets out, Lydia Hunt won't be able to compete. It's her whole life. You have no idea how devastating this would be for her. It was just an accident. Calm down. I glared at Sebastian Gresham. What about me? What about our child? That's your child too. Sebastian Gresham's expression turned glacial. You know that's our child. If you hadn't gone to the racetrack, none of this would have happened. Lydia Hunt's driving skills have always been impeccable. She was distracted because she was kind enough to take Felicity to play, and yet you accuse her without cause. I looked at Sebastian Gresham, my heart felt dissected. I didn't even feel pain anymore, just an endless, bitter cold. Whatever, now that we're divorced, the only thing tying us together is gone. A clean break. What about Felicity? Felicity Gresham wasn't in the hospital room, and I started to panic. The door burst open, and when I saw my daughter was okay, I finally lost it and the tears started flowing. Mom, Lydia's already gotten up and gone home. Why are you still in bed? She flinched away from my touch, looking at me with even more disgust. Lydia already stopped, so quit faking it. I froze. Lydia says real women don't cry and whine, only drama queens do. Sebastian Gresham sighed and wiped my tears. All right, stop crying, even your daughter's telling you off. Lydia's just a tomboy who's always getting into trouble, don't let it get to you. I grew up with her, I know what she's like. You're so upset, I'll get her to apologize. She's so easygoing, not as sensitive as you are. I didn't say anything, just pulled away from Sebastian Gresham's hand and lay back in the hospital bed, feeling utterly dead inside. I just asked, when do we sign the divorce agreement? Sebastian Gresham looked at his empty hand, a flicker of panic crossing his face, and he blurted out. How can I leave you when you're like this? We're not getting divorced. I'll tell Lydia Hunt to figure something else out. Sebastian Gresham gazed at me with those oh-so-sincere eyes, and trotted out that line he's used a million times. Lydia Hunt and I are just good buddies, you're the one I really love. But this time, I didn't believe it anymore, instead, I laughed until I cried. During my late pregnancy, I was swollen and couldn't sleep. I finally drifted off, only to have Sebastian Gresham wake me and boot me out of the master bedroom. Lydia Hunt has cramps and needs her rest. She's picky about beds, so give her the master bedroom. Sebastian Gresham was oblivious to my leg cramps at night, but he knew all about Lydia Hunt's pain medicines. I finally realized that whatever their relationship is, I'm the one intruding. I should just get out of the way. Just as Sebastian Gresham took my hand, his phone rang. He answered, his face shifting, and pursed his lips as he looked at me. Lydia Hunt's family is really putting the squeeze on her. There's no time to think of other solutions. But I promise, we'll remarry in a month, okay? I nodded and smiled at him. Okay, I'll do her this favor. Chapter 3. Got the divorce agreement? Want me to help you move out? Hearing I was moving out, Micah Yip asked. No need, just take good care of Joey at home and get the marriage certificate ready. Micah Yip's voice came through, laced with amusement. Yes, Mrs. Yip. Next month is Joey's kindergarten parent-child activity, and there's an arts and crafts project too. Come quickly and save your poor father and son. The phone clicked off, and Sebastian Gresham just happened to walk out of the room, his eyes narrowed at me. Yip, you were on the phone with Micah Yip? My expression didn't even flicker as I packed the last of my clothes into the suitcase. Sebastian immediately backtracked. That guy's too proud to just call anyone. Lots to carry, let me take you. He picked up the suitcase, but a shriek echoed from upstairs. Sebastian Gresham dropped me like a hot potato and rushed upstairs, the shriek dissolving into peals of laughter. Sebastian, you finally showed up. Weren't we supposed to have an epic showdown? You took so long, Felicity and I already won. Felicity Gresham cheered. Lydia's so awesome, I wish she was my mom. Upstairs, the atmosphere was all warm and happy, like they were the perfect family. Sebastian Gresham never bothered coming down again. Dragging my suitcase past the living room, I spotted a fancy gift on the table. The little card read, to my dearest mother, thanks for everything, her. My iron resolve flickered. I might be dead set on ditching Sebastian Gresham, but Felicity Gresham is my only kid. When Felicity Gresham was 3, Lydia tossed her way up in the air. And then didn't catch. I rushed over without hesitation and ended up in the emergency room. There was a time when she was more important to him than I was. It was a letter, and I slowly opened it, like unwrapping a stolen moment of happiness. Dear Mom, I wish I could call you that. I've always wished I'd been born from your womb. Now Dad says I can finally call you Mom. Thank you for being there for Dad and me all this time. I stared at that sickeningly sincere letter, my blood turning to ice. You thief. Suddenly shoved from behind with great force, Felicity Gresham looked at me like I was the worst kind of criminal. Why did you touch the letter I was giving to Lydia? It was supposed to be a surprise for her. To my eyes, and I was too stunned to defend myself. Sorry, I thought your mom was me. Felicity Gresham snatched what I hadn't dared pack in my suitcase, the thing I was carefully cradling, and held it high above her head. Didn't you used to lecture me that everyone has to pay the price for their actions? You ruined my surprise, so I'm going to ruin the thing that's most important to you. My breath caught in my throat. No way, that's the only thing your grandpa left me. Towards the end, he couldn't even hold a pen, but he still tried to mold weird little clay figures, just like he used to when I was a kid to cheer me up. Don't cry, sweetheart. Felicity Gresham, as if deaf, violently smashed the weird little clay figure onto the ground. Now you've paid the price, too. Apologize to me, and I'll forgive you. The clay shattered into pieces, and my heart seemed to stop then and there, aching so badly I couldn't breathe. Lydia Hunt comforted Felicity Gresham and blamed me for it. Even though Felicity is just a kid, how could you just go through her things like that? You have no respect for her privacy. Hearing that, Felicity's crying intensified. Sebastian Gresham helped me up. You were in the wrong to begin with. How about this? You apologize to Felicity and then help her write a letter. It's nothing, let's just drop it. My hands trembled as I picked up the shards from the floor, and I numbly grabbed a pen. I'd been too heartbroken to read past the first paragraph of that letter, but now I was being forced to read it word by word. I was forced to wallow in her admiration for Lydia Hunt, the love dripping from every line, and then, in her voice, write it all down, sentence by sentence, to create a new letter. Even the last shred of affection in my heart has been completely worn away. Chapter 4. It was a month later when Micah Yip and I finally got the marriage certificate and fully moved into the Yip family home. Joey was already waiting eagerly at the door. Joey is the child Micah Yip's deceased older brother left behind, later adopted by Micah Yip. I've practically watched him grow up. He helped me pack, carefully trailing behind me. Aunt Lowell, will I be like Felicity now, a child with a mother? My heart ached, and I hugged him tight. Of course, Micah Yip proposed this marriage of convenience for Joey's sake, so I guess I should play the dutiful mother. Arts and crafts project due tomorrow? Let Mom have a look. Joey pursed his lips, blushing. In the living room, the ever-aloof Micah Yip is tearing his hair out over his son's arts and crafts project. This kind of thing, though? I'm a natural. I practically stayed up late to do Felicity Gresham's homework, but she complained my gaming was holding her back and never let me join in on parent-child activities. And just like that, an exquisite arts and crafts project takes shape. The father and son looked at me like I'd just split the atom or something. I smiled, a warm feeling of validation washing over me. Tomorrow, Mommy will take you to the parent-child activity. Joey cheered wildly. After getting Joey down, my smile vanished, and I glared at the constant stream of messages on my phone. Honey, it's been a month. I'll pick you up tomorrow. Let's get remarried. Tomorrow's the kindergarten parent-child thing. Felicity agreed to go with you. Happy now? Felicity Gresham even bothered to send a few texts for a change. The arts and crafts project requirements have been sent. Bring it to school tomorrow morning. I want you to make the bento box. And make sure you make extra for Lydia to take home. I ignored the messages on my phone and turned off the lights to sleep. The next morning, Micah Yip told me to sleep in and took Joey to school himself. I made the bento box and got in the car. My phone was still blowing up with messages. Mom, why aren't you here yet? You woke up so late. How are you going to have time to make my bento? Joey says his mom is gentle and beautiful. HMPH, if Lydia showed up, she'd definitely put her to shame. Joey said his mom's arts and crafts project is super amazing. If you make me lose, I'm never talking to you again. I blocked them both, nuked my phone, and grabbed the bento box and arts and crafts project before getting out of the car. I walked into the kindergarten, scanning for Micah Yip and his kid. Then, two little voices piped up behind me. Mom. I turned around, and someone snatched the bag from my hand. Sebastian Gresham grabbed my hand, grinning. Wife, I've missed you like crazy. Finally get to bring you home today. Felicity Gresham shot a smug look at Joey. My mom's here, where's yours? With that, she snatched the arts and crafts project from my hand. Before I could stop her, she'd already ripped open the packaging. Then she let out two enormous sneezes, her face a mask of disbelief. Don't you know I'm allergic to pollen? How dare you use flowers? Sebastian Gresham frowned. How could you forget something like that? No wonder Felicity likes Lydia Hunt better. Did you bring her allergy medicine? Because Felicity Gresham is allergic to pollen, I haven't touched a flower since she was born. Yet, Felicity Gresham could endure being covered in red welts just to help Lydia Hunt take photos among the flowers. When she had to be hospitalized for an IV, it broke my heart and brought me to tears. Sebastian Gresham, however, dismissed it, saying, girls aren't that fragile. Lydia Hunt's just naturally outgoing. Did you expect her to actually care for the kids? Now, over one little handmade thing, they're acting like they've caught me out, jumping at the chance to accuse me. I snatched the box back, looking at them, father and daughter, with indifference. I distinctly remember telling you to keep your allergy medication on you at all times. Felicity Gresham covered her ears. I'm getting calluses listening to this. I continued, and this is the last time I'm reminding you. But your allergy is your problem. Because this arts and crafts project isn't yours. That's what you get for snooping through other people's things. Felicity Gresham's impatient expression froze. I waved behind her. Joey, come help mommy with this. Where's daddy? Joey had been watching Felicity Gresham and me from the same spot, but she only dared to come forward when she heard me. Something came up at work. Daddy went to take a call. He eagerly snatched the item from my hand, gazing at the riot of flowers in the box with undisguised delight, exclaiming in admiration for what felt like the 100th time. Mom, you made it so beautifully. Felicity Gresham was like a furious little lioness. That's my mom. Who said you could call her mom? The smile finally vanished from Sebastian Gresham's face as he looked at me. Honey, are you still holding a grudge against Felicity? He patted Felicity on the head. How dare you speak to your mother like that? Apologize this instant. Felicity Gresham stiffened. Mom knows I'm allergic to flowers, and she still used them. It's clearly her fault. She reached out, trying to snatch the object from Joey's arms. But I'll forgive you this time. I'll hand it in to the teacher. Joey didn't let go, but looked at her seriously and said, this is my homework. Mommy and Daddy helped me with it. Felicity Gresham froze, staring at me in disbelief. Joey spotted Micah Yip in the crowd and waved excitedly. Daddy, Mommy is here. Micah Yip took my hand and asked, all casual-like, I made you breakfast before I left. Did you eat it? Before I could even answer, Sebastian Gresham glared at me, his voice dark. Wife, what the hell is going on with you and Micah Yip? Why are you living together? My eyes swept over the stiff father and daughter. Don't call me that anymore. We're divorced. Let me introduce you. This is my new husband, Micah Yip. I doubt I need to introduce you too, do I? Chapter 5. A new husband? Sebastian Gresham enunciated each word slowly, gnashing his tooth. If you have a problem with me, you can tell me directly. Do you really have to be this spiteful? Didn't I say this is just a sham divorce? We can remarry in a month, Lydia Hunt and I have nothing going on. What do I have to say to make you believe me? I looked at Sebastian Gresham's angry face and nodded. Fine, then I can explain things to you too. Micah Yip is just a colleague. Living together is for work convenience, sharing a bed is because it's too cold at night, and the marriage certificate was just a lark. Actually, he and I have nothing going on. Sebastian Gresham was livid. You got a marriage certificate. And you're saying it's nothing? Freya Lowell, do you think I'm a complete moron? The words were barely out of his mouth before Sebastian Gresham's furious expression began to falter. I looked at him and calmly challenged him. I've already explained it. I only see Micah Yip as a brother. How could you think I'm capable of something so low? Sebastian Gresham's face drained of color, and he was momentarily speechless. Felicity Gresham's gaze shifted from me to Joey's hand in mine. A rare flicker of panic crossed her usually affectedly mature face. Mom? She tried to take my hand. Aunt Hunt has already moved out. You can come home today. I dodged her hand and reiterated. I'm already divorced from Sebastian Gresham. You don't have to call me mom anymore. That's your home, not mine. Felicity Gresham's outstretched hand fell short. Her eyes welled up, and she glared fiercely at Joey. You stole my mom. She's my mom, not yours. Joey, terrified, buried his head in my arms. Micah Yip wordlessly shielded me, stepping in front. That gesture silently drew a line. Felicity Gresham finally burst into tears, sobbing and screaming. You're a thief. You stole my mother. Felicity wasn't one to cry easily, so her tears always used to break my heart. But watching her now, sobbing until she could barely breathe, I felt nothing. Joey trembling in my arms, however, broke my heart even more. Crying and sniveling over something so small? Can't you stop playing the victim? With that, I stopped arguing and carried Joey into the classroom. The teacher looked at me, surprised. So you're Joey's mother. How come you've never come to our kindergarten's parent-child activities before? I smiled and promised, I won't miss them again. Felicity Gresham's tearful voice cut into our conversation. They're lying. Joey doesn't have a mother. She's my mother. The teacher looked at Felicity Gresham, surprised and hesitant. But Felicity, Ms. Hunt has always been the one to accompany you to the parent-child activities. Look, the teacher even has Ms. Hunt's name registered here. I thought Ms. Hunt was your mother. Micah Yip squeezed in, rudely shoving Felicity Gresham aside. Smiling smugly, he pulled two bright red booklets from his pocket. Freya is my wife and Joey's mother. This is our marriage certificate. I even brought the household registration book. Would you like to see it, teacher? The teacher repeatedly refused and wrote my name and Micah Yip's name side by side in the parents' column of the register. Only then did Micah Yip contentedly take back the marriage certificate, carefully returning it to the pocket close to his chest. I couldn't help but laugh. Why do you carry that thing around with you? Micah Yip put his arm around me, acting like it was the most natural thing in the world. I wish I could stick it to my forehead, so everyone who sees me knows that Freya Lowell is my wife. After that, I awkwardly tried to play games with Joey. I'm clearly not cut out for this stuff. He ended up with a terrible ranking. I felt a little uneasy, worried Joey would look disgusted. Joey, clutching her participation prize, had a little face flushed with excitement as she whispered tentatively. Mommy, will you still come to my parent-child activities? I can do my arts and crafts projects all by myself, and I'll try really hard to win first place so I won't embarrass you. My heart felt enveloped in a warm, gentle tide, and I softly promised. Yes, Mommy will always be there for you. Chapter 6. We were about to get in the car and head home with Joey's kindergarten prize. Suddenly, a figure darted out of the shadows and, without a word, punched Micah Yip square in the face. I gasped and covered Joey's eyes. Sebastian Gresham's chest heaved as he glared at Micah Yip. I treated you like a brother, and this is how you repay me. Freya Lowell is my wife. How dare you come onto her? Micah Yip wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and, without a word, threw a punch. He spared a moment to glance back and tell me, be good, go sit in the car. Don't get hurt. I closed the car door, listening nervously to their argument, ready to tell the driver to help Micah Yip if things got out of hand. Who knew Micah Yip's punch would leave Sebastian Gresham sprawled on the ground, unable to get up for ages? You're divorced. She's my wife now, and I've got the marriage certificate to prove it. What, have you got? A divorce certificate? Divorced is divorced. What's with this sham divorce nonsense? Playing house, are we? And, snatching? Please. I waited 6 years for this opportunity, and I grabbed it fair and square. Micah Yip scoffed. Brothers? I thought we were just people who happened to grow up together. Unlike you, I don't call every Tom, Dick, and Harry, brother. Sebastian Gresham lay sprawled on the ground, a pathetic, speechless stray dog. On the way home, Micah Yip's words kept replaying in my head. What's this about waiting 6 years? I met Sebastian Gresham first, damn it. He chased me, then he introduced me to his little circle of friends, and the only reason I even noticed Micah Yip was because while everyone else in Sebastian's orbit was busy singing Lydia Hunt's praises, Micah Yip said nothing. He just went out to the hallway for a smoke, and when he saw me leave alone, he silently stubbed out his cigarette and drove me home. The lights flickered in the private room that day, and Micah Yip looked at me, hesitant, but ultimately said nothing. 6 years? I've known Sebastian Gresham for 6 years myself. I watched Micah Yip's expression. Micah Yip paused, then finally said, I met you first. I spent ages planning how to approach you without seeming too forward. But then my brother had an emergency. By the time I'd sorted everything out, you were already married to Sebastian Gresham. I'm sorry, I lied. The fake marriage thing was a terrible excuse. I genuinely wanted to marry you. Joey's asleep. After a long, drawn-out silence, I chuckled softly, watching Micah Yip's tense profile. Maybe we could have a try. Micah Yip just stared at me, completely dazed. Let's try acting like a real married couple. Maybe one day, it'll actually become real. It was dark in the car. After what felt like forever, I heard Micah Yip sniffle. In the dark, he took my hand. Sebastian Gresham finally showed his face again after nursing his wounds. He shoved the divorce certificate at me. Lydia Hunt's already moved out. I said I'd divorce her within a month, and I didn't waste a single day. If you're unhappy, I won't let Felicity near her again. What else did I do to piss you off? Just tell me, and I swear I'll change everything. His voice was a low murmur. How about you divorce Micah Yip? I can pretend none of this ever happened, and we can go back to being a family of 3. Felicity is your own daughter, after all, while that Joey isn't even related to you. He might be acting all nice now, but he won't remember your kindness later on. I couldn't have cared less about seeing his and Lydia Hunt's divorce certificate until Joey was mentioned. Then, I finally turned cold. You want to lecture me about blood being thicker than water? Sebastian Gresham, don't. You think that's a joke? My own daughter, Felicity Gresham, watched me collapse in a pool of blood and accused me of faking it, personally smashing the things that meant the most to me. While Joey, who you claim is no blood relation of mine, would carefully glue those fragments back together, telling me not to be sad anymore. Sebastian Gresham's face paled, little by little. I exhaled deeply. Over the years, I've done a lot of reflecting. I spent sleepless nights wondering if I was a bad mother, and that's why Felicity Gresham distanced herself from me and resented me. Sebastian Gresham denied it. No, I went on. Later, I realized that maybe Lydia Hunt is the ideal mother figure in her eyes. Marrying Lydia Hunt was the right choice for you. You grew up together, you know each other far better than I ever could. It was presumptuous of me to try and wedge myself into your little love fest. And now, you can continue being inseparable buddies with Lydia Hunt, and Felicity Gresham can naturally call her mom. A win-win for everyone, right? Sebastian Gresham weakly defended himself. No, that's not it. You're the one I love most. Lydia Hunt and I, there's really nothing between us. I can even have her apologize to you. It was all a joke, all fake. I stared steadily at Sebastian Gresham. But all the hurt I felt was real. Sebastian Gresham's hands trembled, and the divorce certificate slipped from his grasp, falling to the floor. I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. He grabbed at his hair in anguish, covering his face, as if he could only repeat those 3 words. My voice regained its calm, like before, and I spoke softly to him. Since you feel so guilty, just let me go. This happy little family of 3 you keep going on about? I already have it. Why would I give them up for you? What makes you so entitled? I smiled thinly. Let's just leave it at that. I'm happy now, and I hope you two can manage to be happy too. I didn't look at Sebastian Gresham again as I turned and left. Chapter 7. Micah Yip and I both had the weekend off, so we took Joey to the amusement park. I didn't expect to see him at the amusement park. Seeing me, Felicity Gresham's eyes lit up, and she snapped impatiently at someone behind. Stop following me. Mom will get angry if she sees you, and then she won't pay attention to. Lydia Hunt didn't care. Brothers don't hold grudges overnight, so why be so angry? I can't imitate your mom's pathetic little woman act, but men sure eat that crap up. Felicity Gresham shoved her hard. Don't you dare talk about my mom like that. I finally understand, everyone is different. My mom isn't some manipulative bitch, she's just gentle. And I also know, what you're doing is called stirring up trouble. Lydia Hunt was stunned for a moment, seemingly unable to believe the child who'd always idolized her would talk back like that. How can you say that? I'm technically still your mother. Felicity Gresham wasn't having it. Dad's already divorced you. You've got nothing to do with him now, and you're not my mother. Lydia Hunt frowned at the mention of that. Where's your father been lately? He won't answer his phone or come home. Felicity Gresham's eyes blazed with resentment. It's all your fault Mom left us. He hates you, and will never see you again. Lydia Hunt didn't believe it. How could he possibly get angry at me over some woman? We practically grew up joined at the hip. She made call after call, but no one answered. The second the message went through, a red exclamation point popped up. Lydia Hunt was incredulous. He actually blocked me. Felicity Gresham abandoned her there, produced a bouquet of flowers from God knows where, and struggled to walk towards me, clutching them. By the time she reached me, her face was covered in a horrifying rash, and she was breathing heavily. Mom, I got these flowers for you. She held the bouquet high. Mom, I'm sorry. I was awful before. I'll get you flowers from now on, and I won't be mean you anymore. Can you forgive me? Her face was streaked with tears, and when I didn't answer, she cried even harder. Mom, can you come back and be my mom? I'm scared to sleep alone, and nobody makes my lunch anymore. I didn't answer, just glanced at Lydia Hunt's resentful glare in the distance, and gave her a subtle reminder. You can just let Lydia Hunt be your mother. You like her best anyway, don't you? Felicity Gresham denied it, sobbing, no, I don't want her. You're my mother. Her breathing grew more and more rapid. Finally, I stepped forward and took the flowers from her. Felicity Gresham's eyes lit up. The next second, I tossed the bouquet into the trash. I'm not your mother anymore. Never will be. Since you know people have to pay the price for their actions, you should understand I'll never come back to you. Her gaze dimmed little by little, eventually turning a desolate gray. I called for an amusement park employee. Here's your father's contact information. She's having an allergic reaction, just send her to the hospital. She disappeared from my sight, just as the traces she left in my life gradually faded away. I looked away and picked up Joey. Let's go play the next game. The Yip family's business gradually shifted overseas, and Micah Yip and I decided to take Joey and settle abroad. It was a long time before we heard from them again. I heard Lydia Hunt was racing on a mountain road and lost control, plunging off a cliff. They managed to rescue her, but she's basically a vegetable now. The Hunt family's disowned her, and even Sebastian Gresham, who used to be her best friend, won't lift a finger to help. I heard Sebastian Gresham won't even visit her. Eventually, some of her other loser friends took pity and chipped in to keep her alive. Micah Yip's friends are somewhat connected to Sebastian Gresham, so they couldn't resist gossiping about it during a business trip. But Sebastian Gresham's a mess himself. Who knows what set him off, but all he does is drink himself into oblivion. He was just diagnosed with stomach cancer, and he still won't quit. Does he really want to abandon his daughter? As he spoke, he sighed deeply. But that's all other people's business, nothing to do with us. Let's not mention them and ruin the mood. I smiled and poured him some wine. Yeah, other people's business. The first snow fell outside the window, and the steam from the hot pot curled upwards, forming a white mist on the glass, blurring the view. Only the cozy warmth inside is the happiness we can hold on to now. The end.